Hello everybody, welcome back to TQM Travels. Lisa and I are still up here visiting family in Wisconsin, and you know you cannot go to Wisconsin without visiting a couple of breweries. So we are here at G5 Brewery behind me, which is a brewery that I visited a couple of years ago. This one is near my grandma's house in Beloit, Wisconsin, so we're going to see what new beers they have on tap and also try the food I hear this time. So as you can see, it's starting to rain. I'm going to head inside before I get soaked. All right, so we're inside now. We have 5 beers here in front of us for our flight. So we're gonna go ahead and try them all out here. So first up is called the Hindenburg in a Lightning Storm. Now I think I actually had a coffee variety of this beer when I was here the first time. So this is a Kolsch, which Lisa and I really got a taste for while we were visiting Cologne in Germany a little while ago. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm expecting it to be nice and refreshing. So let's see. Oh wow, that's really good. Usually with Kolsch's, there's not like a lot of fruity flavor that I usually get with them, but this one has a really refreshing fruity flavor to it. So next up here, this is called the Solaris Hill or Solaris Hill. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. This is a kettle sour and it's named after an area that has a lot of key limes. So it might be a limey flavor, so let's see how it tastes. Oh wow. Okay, so this one's really sour, but it's not unpleasant though. I've really started to acquire the taste of sours lately, so this one's really good. It's also pretty refreshing, and it does have a very, very strong lime kick. So it's really good. Yeah, awesome, super refreshing. Third beer here is called Juice World. This is a hazy triple IPA. This is a pretty strong beer. I think we're looking at 10.5%. It's supposed to have a nice juicy flavor because of all of the hops that they're using, so we'll see how it is. Super hoppy. I've definitely had some, what I would say are juicier IPAs that I definitely prefer. So this one's not my favorite IPA that I've ever had. It is very fruity though. It's super hoppy, but it's sort of this sticky hoppy flavor on the back of my tongue that I don't like. So this one's not my favorite, but it is pretty good still. Fourth beer we have today is the Wait 24 Hours, which is a double Northeast IPA. So Northeast IPA is a style that I actually don't drink a lot, so I'm not gonna be terribly familiar with what to expect here. I'm expecting it to be, you know, just your standard IPA, hops, things like that, and we'll see if it's better or worse than the one we just had earlier. Okay. This one has more of a malty body, I would say. Less of that hop bitterness, or less of that hop juiciness, I guess. It still has the bitterness, and I think I prefer the Juice World over this one. This one still has that really sticky, bitter aftertaste at the back of my tongue, which again, I don't like that much, so I do prefer the Juice World, but regardless, both of these IPAs are definitely not my favorite. Last beer we have here is called the Pennsylvania Basement. It's supposed to be a peanut butter and coconut stout, but does this look like a stout?
No.
Oh, it's called a white stout. What the heck? I've never had one of these.
Nor have I.
Honestly, this just looks like an amber beer.
Does it taste like a stout?
It smells like peanut butter, like straight up. It's like Reese's peanut butter cups, right?
Not straight up. It smells like beer.
So like I said, I was a little confused because I was not expecting. I've never heard of a white stout before. That's new for me. So I haven't really had a lot of beers over the past year, as you might expect. So it's a lot clearer, but let's see if it's got that roastiness that you would get from a normal stout. Wow, oh, this one's really good. It's got a really, really heavy peanut butter flavor. It's got some chocolate in it as well. It's not as pronounced as the peanut butter is, but overall it's very balanced. It's got a really nice mouthfeel as well. It just coats the tongue in chocolate and peanut butter, and it's really, really smooth as well. This one is probably my favorite beer that I've had here, so this is an excellent, excellent beer. I would highly recommend it. So along with the beers, we're also trying the food for the first time, and you can't go to Wisconsin without getting some cheese curds. So we have this like spicy mayo sauce to dip in, right? Is that what this is? Spicy mayo?
Yeah.
Let's see how it is. Cheese curds are so good. It's got a nice light batter. It's crispy and delicious. All right, so again, because I had never tried a white stout before, I saw that they had a second one on the menu. This is called the POW. This This is like a Rice Krispies white stout, so I guess it's got some crispy rice in it as one of the main ingredients. So we'll see if this one's better or worse than
I don't see the crispy rice.
Yeah, it looks more like just liquid to me, if you ask me. Also, so we're gonna see if this one lives up to my expectations now for these white stouts after that peanut butter one, which is my favorite beer that I have had. Let's give the POW a try and see how it is.
Chris's taste buds say.
It is good, very malty, not too sweet or anything. Nice hop balance. I definitely preferred the Pennsylvania Basement better though. I really like the chocolate and peanut butter combo that they use. This one's just more of a standard malty beverage, so.
Is it standard if you didn't even know there was a white stout?
I guess that's true. Fair point. Fair point. I mean, look at the color again. It's still not dark at all, so. Never heard of this style before, so I'll have to do some research into that, maybe brew it up at home. So that's gonna be all of the 5 beers that we're having here at G5. I'm sure we will be visiting a couple of other breweries as we're here throughout the week. So we will see you guys at the next brewery sometime in the near future. All right, everybody, so we are here at another brewery. We just finished camping and hiking at Devil's Lake State Park, and just outside of the park, there's a brewery called Tumbled Brewery and Kitchen. I got a flight here in front of me with 5 different beers, so why don't we go ahead and give them a try. All right, so the first beer we have here is called the Comfy Pants. I believe this is a Belgian Pilsner, so it's supposed to be clean and refreshing, hopefully. It does smell just like a traditional Pilsner, but it has a nice, like, floral and fruity aroma. It smells like it's gonna be good, so let's give it a try. This beer is very refreshing and light, but it does have a lot of flavor. It's sort of a nice hop bitterness and fruitiness. It's not overpowering though. And it's really, really nice and refreshing. Look at this color too. It's crystal clear and beautiful. Second beer we have here is called the Devil's Doorway, which is a landmark that we saw while we were hiking at the park. This is a double IPA, so it's supposed to be strong and hoppy. Let's give it a try. When you smell it, it's just a blast of hop aroma. It smells pretty balanced, so let's go ahead and try it and see how it tastes. Oh, this is an IPA that I like. Unlike the ones at G5, this one is nice and balanced. It's got a nice malty body still, and the hops aren't super overpowering. They're very flavorful and aromatic, but they don't have that lingering bitterness that I don't like. So overall, this is a very refreshing double IPA. All right, third beer we have here is the Lightweight Lori's Ultra Lightweight Lager. This is like a 3.5% lager. It's supposed to be just a nice, clean, easy to drink beer. So it smells pretty good. It doesn't smell too much different than like your mass market lagers, so let's see how it tastes though. It tastes a lot like Miller Lite, I would say. It's probably the closest that I would say. It has some pretty good flavor to it, but it's not anything like overpoweringly flavorful. Obviously, this is a great beer to drink on a hot summer day to keep refreshed. Fourth beer we have here is the Nitwit. This is a Belgian wit. It's supposed to be similar to like your Blue Moons and things. So it's got a nice orangey, citrusy aroma, and it smells pretty malty and sweet, so I'm looking forward to this. Let's give it a taste. Wow, this beer's got a nice sweet malty flavor. It does also have a flavor of like sweet orange peel as well. It's nice and citrusy. It's got some good hop balance as well. Yeah, another excellent summer beer. And the last beer that we have here is called the C & Double. This is a Belgium double. It's not a style of beer that I'm terribly familiar with. It's got a nice malty aroma. I don't really smell a lot of hops or anything. It smells like it's got a pretty good body, so now we'll give it a taste. This beer's not bad. It sort of has this syrupy sweetness to it, which I'm not a huge fan of. It's got sort of a caramel flavor almost at the same time, and it's good. It's definitely balanced. It's just not a style that I think I like that much, so I mean, it's not bad by any means, but it's definitely not my favorite. All right, so those are all of the beers that we're trying out here today. Overall, I did enjoy all of the beers that I tried to some extent. I think my favorite's actually this one here, the double IPA. I was very surprised with how good it was. But we're gonna relax here and finish these beers up and eat some food, and then we're gonna be heading back home. So we'll see you guys at our next brewery later on in the week. Another day, another brewery. Today we are here in Muskego, Wisconsin, and we're gonna be driving into Milwaukee to head to a couple of different breweries. The first brewery that we're visiting is the Eagle Park Brewing and Distilling Company. So why don't we go ahead inside and see what there is to drink. All right, so we're inside now. We have 4 beers in front of us. I didn't do like a real true flight here because all of the flights are just half pours. So I ordered four half pours, but as you can see, one of them ended up being a full pour on accident. Woo! So the first beer we're gonna try is this here. This is called the Major Tom. This is a milkshake IPA. I think it's got strawberry and some various citrusy hops. So let's go ahead and give it a taste now. Cheers. Wow, this tastes just like a strawberry smoothie. Like, it doesn't taste super alcoholic. It's not even, I think it's like 8% ABV even. It's got a lot of strawberry flavor, a little bit of vanilla flavor as well. The hops are just perfectly balanced. This is one of the best IPAs I've had in a long time, honestly. It's really good. All right, so next up we have here, this is the Rocket Pop Slush. So this is based off of those like 3-colored rocket ship popsicles you can buy in the grocery stores. So it's supposed to have some like raspberry and cherry, some lime flavor. It looks good. It's supposed to be a sour ale as well. Smelling it, it does smell like a nice refreshing sour with a lot of raspberry I'm getting. That's probably the most prominent flavor. A little bit of cherry as well, but mostly raspberry. That's the main aroma I'm getting here. But let's give it a taste. Oh my God. Woo. This tastes just like berries. It's not super sour. It does have a little tartness to it, but I think that's more of just like what you would expect when eating fresh berries and things. It's really refreshing as well. This is an excellent beer. It's very, I would actually say on the aftertaste, you do sort of get that little popsicle flavor. It brings you back to your childhood where you're drinking popsicles. Enjoying some popsicles on a hot summer day. Oh man, this is another excellent beer. So the third beer I have is called the Robert Brulee. This is an Imperial Stout. It's extraordinarily strong. I think we're looking at 13.5% here. So it's gonna be a pretty strong beverage. It has a sort of very sweet aroma, sort of like a caramely aroma, which is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a lot of caramel, chocolate, and toffee flavors to come from the beer. So let's see. Okay, this beer is not my favorite. It doesn't taste super strong. It doesn't taste like a 13.5% beer, but it's got a lot of like sweet vanilla and caramel flavor, as if it was like added in after the fact, not like natural flavors from the malts. Yeah, it's interesting for sure, but it's not my favorite. It doesn't have this like maltiness that I really like in stouts. It doesn't really give me that sort of full-bodied flavor. It's just a lot of sweetness on the front of the tongue, which, I mean, it's good in some beers, but in this style, it's not my favorite. All right, and the last beer that we have here is called the 30 Different Pat McCurdy's. This is a Hefeweizen that's actually been dry hopped a little bit. So Hefeweizen is my personal favorite style of beer. They do also have a Hefeweizen here that I might try a little bit later, but it's only available in cans. So I actually might just buy some in cans and take them home with me. But I am excited to try the Hefeweizen to see how it tastes with the dry hops in it. So let's go ahead and see how it smells. Honestly, I don't really smell too many hops. It smells just like almost like a nice, refreshing Hefeweizen. So let's see if the dry hops add any extra flavor. It's really good. I don't taste any extra hops or anything really, but it does taste like a really good Hefeweizen, which I can appreciate personally because, again, it's my favorite style. So this is an excellent beverage to enjoy on a hot day. My cousin Mary here has a guest tasting here. Do you remember what beers yours were?
I have a strawberry rhubarb sour ale. I have the tropical slush, which is overfruited sour ale. And then I have the vegan bikini bottom, which is a vegan milkshake IPA. And this is the order that I like them in because I drink them.
Right.
I love the strawberry rhubarb. It tastes like strawberries.
Yeah.
You have a hint of rhubarb at the very end, and it doesn't taste like alcohol at all. This tastes like mango juice.
Yep.
And this definitely has an alcohol taste to it for the IPA.
Okay.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
I like it. I probably would order it if that's what I had an option of, but that's my favorite. strawberry rhubarb.
I think my favorite beer so far here is actually going to be a tie almost between the milkshake IPA and the berry and cherry sour. That one.
No ties. Choose one.
I think I'm going to go with the Major Tom. Honestly, it's a surprise for IPAs for me. It doesn't have that overpowering bitterness that I typically get with IPAs. It's really good. So that one is probably my favorite here, and I'm looking forward to maybe taking some cans home with me back home and trying some more later on. All right, everybody, so after paddle boating for a while downtown Milwaukee, we have come here to cool off a little bit at Black Husky Brewing. I got a flight here with 4 beers in front of me. I really wasn't sure what to get, so I just told the bartender, I was like, whatever you think, give me 4 beers that taste good. All right, so the first beer we're gonna try here is an Elderberry Ghost. Let's see how it smells. It's got a nice little sour aroma with some berry. Let's give it a taste.
How old are the berries?
Quite old. This beer is really sour, but it is really refreshing. It's got a light berry flavor. I don't personally know what elderberries taste like on their own, but it's not bad. It's quite refreshing. It is very sour, though. It's the sourest beer I probably had up here on this trip so far, so not bad, though. Next beer we have here is called the Astica Alt. This is an alt beer, which is a style that I don't really drink a lot. It's got sort of a very light caramel toffee-esque aroma. It smells good, really. Let's give it a taste. Oh wow. So this beer has a nice, slightly caramel toffee flavor to it. It's not super sweet though, like that one stout we had earlier today. This one's nice and balanced. It does still have a nice malty body to it. This beer is really good. I like how this one has the maltier body, so pretty good. Now we chose this brewery because it is named after Huskies, and as you know, Lisa and I have 3 dogs, so we love dogs. And one of the beers that they have here, this is called the Dog Father. This is a pale ale with mosaic hops, so it's got a nice hop aroma to it. It doesn't smell overly bitter. Let's see how it tastes though. This beer is pretty good. It's got a nice body to it. It does have it is quite bitter, but the bitterness isn't really sticking to the back of my tongue. It's pretty pleasant. It's not my favorite IPA by any stretch, but it is quite nice, honestly. All right, and the last beer we have here is called Vane. This is another pale ale, but instead of mosaic hops, they're using citra hops, which are going to be a little more, have that more citrusy flavor than the mosaic hops. It does have a similar aroma, but the hop flavor is definitely more citrusy smelling, so let's see how it tastes now. Okay, the malt in this pale ale definitely comes out more than in the one using mosaic hops, but I think I actually prefer the mosaic hops. This one's got it's a little bit too bitter for me, I would say. Like, I don't think it's any fault of the beer itself. I just don't think this is my personal favorite style. But overall, it's still not bad. It doesn't have that sticky bitterness at the back of my mouth. So it's still not bad, but I definitely prefer the Dog Father over this one. So we're gonna drink up these beers and enjoy some food here, and then afterwards we're going to go to one more brewery here in Milwaukee before we head back to Beloit. All right, so we're at our last brewery here in Milwaukee for today. We are at Wizard Works Brewing in downtown Milwaukee. We got another flight here with 4 different beers to try out, so we're gonna go ahead and give that a taste. So all of the beers are sort of magician themed, hence the name Wizard Works. The first beer that we're gonna be trying is called The Escape. This is a Berliner Weiss, so it's gonna be a little sour, but it's supposed to still be pretty clean and refreshing, and it's also a fairly weak beer. We're looking at 3% here. It does smell pretty sour. It's sort of like a berry-ish aroma, but not too much. Let's see how it tastes. That's really sour. I would say this beer is even more sour than the one we had at the Black Husky Brewery. But this one is more refreshing, I think, actually. I really like how clean the aftertaste is, and it does have a nice fruity flavor going down. It's honestly quite nice. I wasn't expecting it to be so sour, but it's very good. So the next beer we have is called the Hofzinser. This is a traditional Hefeweizen, so it's beautiful looking.
Chris is in love with Hefeweizen.
This beer smells really good. It's got a nice little banana and clove aroma. So now we're gonna go ahead and give it a quick little taste. This is very good. Oh yeah. This has a lot of banana flavor to it. I don't get too many cloves, but I really like banana forward Hefeweizen, so this tastes delicious. I really like it a lot. All right, so the third beer that we have here is called the BD Levitation. This is a German Pilsner. Okay. It's got a nice malty body. The hops aren't too bitter or anything. I actually think it's quite balanced. It's not my favorite style by any means. I definitely prefer like Hefeweizens over Pilsners, but for a Pilsner though, this is pretty nice and it's quite refreshing. This last beer that we have here is called the Smoke and Mirrors. This is a Nitro IPA. So I'm pretty excited about tasting this one to see how it is with the Nitro. So if you haven't had any Nitro beer before, it's going to have a more smooth mouthfeel than your traditional beer that's brewed with CO2. So let's see how this beer smells. It's got some nice citrusy hop aroma. I think it's pretty good smelling. Let's give it a taste. Oh, wow. This is pretty similar to those juicy IPAs that I like. It's got a nice, perfectly balanced hop profile, I would say, to the beer. And the Nitro for it is, the texture is amazing. It's really good. It sort of has that milkshake sort of texture to it, but no lactose sugar in this one, I believe. I think this is just from the Nitro rather than the CO2. So that's all the beers that we're trying today here at Wizard Works. We're going to be heading back home to Beloit, and I'm sure we will be trying some more beers tomorrow, though, in the Madison area. So we'll see you guys then. It's our last day of drinking probably here up in Wisconsin. Earlier today we were at Cave of the Mound, so definitely be sure to check out that episode, which should be posted on the channel. We're heading into Madison for the day, but on our way we stopped by in Mount Horeb here at Brix Cider. So I have a flight here of 4 different alcoholic ciders, and I also have a glass of a non-alcoholic cider, which I've already been drinking from. It's super crisp and refreshing, and it tastes just like a glass of apples. It's really, really nice. So for the alcoholic ciders here, I have 2 dry ciders and 2 semi-sweet ciders. So let's start with the dry ciders first. The first one that we have here is called the Munchkie. This is just listed as a dry cider, doesn't have any extra flavors or anything, so let's see how it tastes. Yeah, not too sweet, nice and crisp, just has a nice apple finish. It's very tasty. Cider, sorry, I'm not very good at reviewing ciders. It's not something that I drink a lot of at home. I'm definitely more of a beer guy, but we were in the area and this sounded pretty good. Why not try something different? So the second dry cider that I have here is a black currant cider. So let's see how it tastes. Wow, also very crisp and refreshing, and it does have a more full body, it feels like, because of the black currants in it. It's pretty good. I think I prefer the Munchkie a little bit more. Personally, it has a little bit sweeter flavor with the apples coming out more prominently, but this one's still very good as well. Now we're going to move into the sweet ciders that I have here. First, we're going to be trying something called the Cider here. This is supposed to be semi-sweet with some honey, and let's see how it tastes. Ooh, okay. It says that this one's pretty strong, and it certainly is. It does have more of an alcohol kick to it, but it is pretty sweet. It's really nice and crisp as well, so I enjoy it also. And the last one that we have here is the one I've been looking forward to. This is called the Cherry Melomel, and it's cherry and sweet, so let's see how it tastes. Okay, it does have a pretty strong cherry flavor, but it's not my favorite. It's a little too sweet, honestly. I think my favorite is this Munchkie one here. Just the standard dry. It's part of their Orchard series, so it's sort of like a specialty one. Overall, I've enjoyed all of the ciders though. If you're in the Mount Horeb area, I would recommend checking out Brix Cider. So after we finish these up and eat some food, we're going to be heading closer into Madison for a couple of breweries, and we'll see you guys there. Okay, so we are here at what is probably going to be the last brewery that we're visiting on this trip. We are here at Delta Beer Lab, as you can see behind me. I have a flight here with 4 beers and then an extra beer because I couldn't really decide between all of the different beers that they had here. So he's like, yeah, just do this extra one also. So the first beer that we're going to try here is called HSR 8. The cool thing with this place is it's very sciencey themed. So like you can see these flight glasses that they use, they're little graduated cylinders, and then also all of their beers are sort of like iterations. So there's like Porter 1, Porter 3, like it's kind of cool. So this beer is a peach cobbler goes, so it's going to be a little sour with hopefully some peach flavors. Oh my god, this smells just like peach juice, like just straight peach juice. So we're going to go ahead and give it a taste. That one's really good. It's not super sour. It definitely has some tartness to it, but this tastes just like peach cobbler.
Can we have a guest reviewer? Mary would also like to review the Peach Ghost. please turn it around on Mary. Okay, guest reviewer.
I am
Smell
not
it
a sour.
first?
I already
Smell it?
tried it. Smells like peaches, tastes like peaches, too sour.
You didn't even taste it on camera. They don't
Sorry.
even believe you. Do you see her flinch? That's what we needed.
Yeah, Mary has said multiple times on this trip that she doesn't like sours. She really liked some of the over-fruited sours at Eagle Park Brewing yesterday because theirs are very, very fruity.
Strawberry rhubarb pie was amazing.
That sounded good too.
Yeah, but I really like this one. This one is excellent in my opinion. So awesome. The next beer that we're going to try here, this is a Belgian wit beer. So should be similar to Blue Moon. Definitely have sort of an orange peel aroma and kind of a good malty body smell. So we'll go ahead and give it a taste here. Yeah, not bad. It's less sweet than a Blue Moon would be, which is good in my opinion because I think Blue Moon is way too sweet. This is a little bit more balanced. It has a little coriander aftertaste, which is to be expected with this style. It's pretty good, but yeah, not too sweet. Pretty good. It's not my favorite beer. I definitely like the peach better so far. Next beer here is called the Porter 5. So this is actually a raspberry porter. Oh, okay. It does smell pretty malty, like a good porter, but it really has a pleasant raspberry aroma. It's got a chocolatey aroma along with the raspberry, but that's probably just naturally from the malts that they're using in the beer. But it does have a really nice raspberry aroma, so let's go ahead and see how it tastes. Oh wow, okay. That's a pretty good porter. It's got a nice chocolatey body. It's pretty good texture. And the raspberry is quite pleasant. Raspberry is not my favorite fruit by any means, but it really goes well with this porter. It's really, really tasty. I really like it a lot. It's not too heavy either. It's not too bitter. And overall, it's pretty well balanced. And I think they did a good job with putting just the right amount of raspberries in too. It tastes really, really tasty. All right, so the next beer here is going to be a mocha milk stout. This is called Porter 3. So this one was obviously created before the raspberry porter, although this is actually a stout. So maybe they don't have a code for that yet. They don't have ST yet. STOU. I don't know what you would use. Okay, this smells a lot more malty, hence it being a stout rather than a porter. It has a very light chocolate aroma. I'm not really getting a lot of chocolate right on the nose, but let's see how it tastes. So this one's really good though. I didn't smell the coffee. It didn't come out that much in the aroma, which maybe my nose is just off then, but it does have a really nice, pleasant coffee taste with it, and it's pretty well balanced as well. Not too bitter either. I think I like this one more than the raspberry porter just because I prefer coffee over raspberries in general, but this beer is pretty good, and the raspberry porter was good as well. So the last beer we're gonna try here is a coffee-infused brown ale. So if we give it a smell, I'm not getting a lot of coffee aroma, are you?
Oh, you're
Coffee
not?
No.
roasted 100 feet away at Kin Coffee.
Ooh.
Maybe my nose is off because to me it just smells malty.
Let me smell it
Not
again.
like coffee, but maybe that's just because the aromas are similar in
No,
my...
that smells like straight up coffee.
What does this one smell like then?
Maybe you should mix them.
Does it smell like coffee to you?
A little less. Let Mary smell that one. She's gonna be our guest smeller.
It's fresh brewed coffee in the morning.
Fresh brewed coffee,
Yep.
straight up.
Yep.
Boom.
I don't know.
Should you trust?
Folgers in your cup kind
Right,
of smell.
right. It's just straight up coffee smell.
Okay, no, I am getting it, but it's not like prominent to me. I don't know why. I almost get
That's
like
all I smell.
I almost get like a fruity
Maybe you
sense.
need
So
to talk to your nose.
uh-oh. But let's give it a taste.
Right
My
it
taste
up.
buds haven't been wrong yet. Oh, Okay, this one's not my favorite. It does have a very strong coffee flavor. It's not bad. It's just not, I feel like the stout had more of a nice malty body that complemented the coffee well. So I think that's why I just preferred that one over this brown ale. Overall though, I really enjoyed all of these beers. I would definitely say my favorite is actually this Peach Cobbler Goes. This one's really, really good. I like it a lot. And then followed closely by the mocha milk stout here. So that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching me review all of these different beers. I definitely recommend visiting the Wisconsin area if you're into craft breweries and craft beers and things like that, because there are several breweries. I think in Madison alone, there's like 25 different breweries or something. So if you guys enjoyed this video, do be sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. It's completely free to do and it'll help the channel grow. But until next time, guys, cheers.